Thank you for coming, and it's really a lot of fun for me to do this because I really approached the market from more of an academic standpoint, and it was always very important for me to understand what I was doing if I was doing it wrong. And the idea is that there has to be a change coming from the pit-traded markets we've all experienced and the electronic markets, which basically are a lot different from what we were used to. And we need to find the commonality between them. In other words, what is the common ground of trading in the electronic markets and the pit markets? And when we find that common ground, we can begin to go forward. It's the responsibility of the exchange to provide information so that people can trade. And one of the things that's happened is that the front ends of the electronic system are not a formal exchange by themselves, but they represent an exchange where we trade. But no one's really taken the data that comes from there and basically applied it to the market. So when you do that, trading can become a lot simpler than trying to apply it where something else takes place. And I always have a big, difficult time getting people on board to what I'm doing. One of the reasons is I'm not that great at communication, and the way I see it and you see it is going to be different. But one of the problems is that there's the scope of what I'm talking about that basically scares people off. So this is a tremendous scope, what we were looking at, and one of the reasons that I became director when Les Rosenthal was chairman was that the scope of the programs that we were coming up with, he wasn't afraid of. I mean, Les was not afraid of the scope of anything, and if you had the right idea, he's going to back you. And so the last couple of years, we're working with him on an automatic trading program, and this opportunity came along. And I went to Bill Cunningham and I said, you know, why don't we do this? And so he and I are partners on this program. But I do think that the future's in trading, and the future has always been best in your own hands. In financial field, you know, when you pass off to somebody else to do the job for you, it never works. So, in other words, this is an opportunity for you to grow yourself and grow the industry and grow the exchange. And so I'm very, very excited about this. This is probably the biggest thing. I mean, X funds were really the biggest thing I've done because they were so good. And another thing was that, I mean, they made, out of 26 funds we had, they made 500% on margin. So just think of how we're doing today. The exchange is making $20 or $5 a contract. Public made $23,000 if they bought the funds. And they're 11 days and out. We could have had a guy like Richard Dennis play, this is a cannonball one, he's going to take it to the moon, and we're not going to stop at 5,000, he's going to go in for 50. We could have very conservative guys. We would have the locals making a market, the edge into the market was like $85 to $150. So the local could make money arbitraging. He could sell the X fund. If the beans were a strong one, buy 3 beans and sell 1 corn instead of doing the whole thing. It was really the perfect trade, and much better than ETFs. ETFs sold for $5 billion, and X funds was given up by the exchange, which is a sad, sad thing. But and the trouble was the scope of the project was too big for them to understand. Not that they don't work hard, they're trying to do the right thing, make the right decision, but that was a big failure in terms of what it's doing. That's the best thing I've done. This will be the next best thing I've done.